News this morning. Many things in healthcare were canceled last year because of the pandemic, including certain doctor's visits and medical procedures. But for organ transplantation, 2020 was a record-breaking year. Also last year, a new app was launched to help recipients track their progress. I talked to a local organization whose job is to connect patients to donors and a man who has been living with a new heart for about a quarter of a century. Take a look.
And so the amazing thing is today, 26 years later, Roberta's heart is still beating.
James Gleason received a heart transplant in 1994.
You normally don't find out who your donor is. It's an anonymous process, but sometimes you do. And I've been very fortunate to be able to connect with his family, to be able to say thank you.
And to express that thank you in actions, Gleason joined TRIO, Transplants Recipient International Organization. Today, he is the president. And recently, he was part of the original design team for a new app called AlloCare.
It's kind of interesting.
It's designed to help recipients monitor their well-being, schedule medications, and has a score system to keep users accountable.
If we don't get 100, we want to know what can we do to get 100.
Organ recipients need a little extra attention as they become high risk after a transplant.
I think the app is a great idea because it engages the patients. It also empowers them to participate in their own health care. It prevents complications.
Mary Hines hasn't used the app herself, but she has worked closely with donor families and recipients for years. First as a nurse and now as the hospital service specialist for Mid-America Transplant.
I'm a hospital liaison, basically, is trying to make sure that everybody understands donation and what we can do to make the process better for the hospital as well as for the families.
Hines says in 2020, Mid-America Transplant ended the year with a 5% increase in referrals of possible donors.
We had a record year of organ and tissue donation.
The organization serves 122 hospitals in southern Missouri, southern Illinois, and northeast Arkansas. According to its website, in its region last year, 278 organ donors impacted 815 lives.
Families are so generous.
Hines says only 1% of people die in a manner that makes them eligible for organ donation. But one donor can save up to 8 people.
So my final message to you would be, consider organ donation. Again, register your decision and tell your family. Be a hero. Save a life when your life is over.
Now, Joe, today more than 108,000 people are on the waiting list for organ donation nationwide, but of those, about 40,000 will receive a donation each year. And in more good news, Hines told me that Mid-America Transplant has more people registered to be an organ donor now more than ever before.
That is great, and I love that last message that he leaves us, the viewers, with right there. So what about the new app for recipients to be able to track their health for that?
Yeah, so it is called AlloCare. You can just search for it on your phone. It is available now for Apple phones, and it will be available for Android in the spring.